Hello, here's Ettie and Bronte, and today we also have little
Cleo.
little Cleo's with us as well. Oh bless. Okay, so you want to show them your pencil?
Yeah, it's my homemade pencil. It's a little unicorn one with a fluffy ball at the top.
I love that. She's usually into kind of
goth
things or studs and army outfits and but today we have a little bit of unicorn, so nice. So today we're going to be doing just an easy way to remember the planets and the order of the planets from the sun. We're going to be doing it like this. Okay, so first of all, the first one we have is the sun. The
sun, it keeps us all warm. I think
there's the
I'm just
sun.
gonna let the dog out.
Okay. She's letting the dog out. So we have the sun. And then after the sun, right, what's after the sun?
Mercury.
Mercury. Then, do you remember the next one? Venus. Now, if you look outside, you can often see Venus. It's often the brightest star in the sky. That's Venus, because that's quite close to us.
Yep.
Well, very, very far, but comparatively, it's close to us. And then there is us, because we are called the third rock from the sun. Oh. So if you're going to be knocking doorbells, it is number 3. We're number 3. Yep. So number 3 is Earth. Okay. And then next to us on the other side, now where do we always try to go? Where are all our films about? Where we always go to visit Mars. So Mars is the other side. So we are between Venus, which is the one we can see. So Venus is also the name of the goddess of love in Roman.
Ooh, goddess of love.
Yeah, so we have the goddess of love and we have Mars. Which is, Mars is actually the god of war within Romans. So we have love and war either side of us. So we have Mars. Okay, then after Mars, do you know what we have after Mars?
Is it Jupiter?
Jupiter.
My favourite planet.
Jupiter. And after Jupiter is? Saturn. You remember after Saturn?
Uranus?
Was it Uranus? I thought it was. Yes, you're right. Uranus. And what's after Uranus? Okay, so we have...
Is it Neptune?
Yes, Neptune. Okay, so we have, at one end we have the sun, which is hot and fire, and at the other end we have water, fire and water. And the god of the sea is Neptune. Okay, I do think that may have been Greek though, rather than Roman. But anyway, Neptune. Yeah, yes, Greek. Okay, so Neptune. Okay. So don't worry, I'll do a little close up now. Okay, so a good way to remember this, we've got them there. So first of all, let's just quickly go back over that again. So we have the sun. That's not a planet, that's a star.
Yeah, what is it?
That's a star.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well.
Okay, and it's tiny in comparison to the really big ones, but we will do that another time, okay? But it's huge in comparison to us.
Yeah.
So we have the sun, and then we have Mercury. Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. But that's not so easy to remember, is it? No. So we're going to remember it another way.
And I'm going to let our dog in. Magic.
Hello. So the magic of, who knows, we suddenly have tea. And as the little one just pointed out, actually they're both cat cups. I think her sister bought them for us.
Yeah, I think she bought me this one and then you that one.
So we have tea. The beauty of home education, you can do these things. Right, so thank you, darling. That's why I had children.
It's totally that's the only reason she had children, to make her the cups of tea.
Indeed, very important. Okay, so we'll carry on with our planets. The dog is out and in. Okay, so we were talking about the planets and we're going to teach you a way of remembering them. We're going to make up a
mnemonic.
A mnemonic, yeah. Okay. Okay, so we're going to make up a funny little sentence. So let's do that now.
Okay.
let's do that now. Okay, so you don't include the sun. We know the sun. We're just doing all of the other ones. So.
Okay, so Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. What are we going to
do? I think Bronte did one a long time ago when she was little. That's how she remembers these. She doesn't remember that she actually remembers them because we did this before. She just remembers them anyway, which is the whole point of learning this way, because if you learn this way, you will just remember things. You'll forget the process and how we did it, but you'll just know them. So I'm going to see if I can come up with actually the one that she used originally, because it was quite funny. It was something like, my Mercury, Venus is very Venus. Very.
Boo.
Where did that come from?
I have no idea.
Okay, my Venus, very. Earth, so what are we doing for Earth?
Elderly.
Yes, it was elderly. Elderly mother. That's what it was. Thank you very much. Are you starting to remember?
Yeah.
Just. Saturn is sat on. Uncle. Neptune, Ned.
Okay, Ned.
Ned for Neptune. Okay, and this is how we remember it. Okay, so Mercury is my, so the mnemonic is my very elderly mother just sat on Uncle Ned. What?
How? I don't know how.
What? Okay. Okay, so we try to remember this then. So my very elderly mother just sat on Uncle Ned. Now imagine seeing it in your head. So you've got your really old, well, you can imagine your mum if you want, but with a few more wrinkles, or just, you know, just your mum if she is, you think she's really old. So my very elderly mother, and then imagine her just sat on Uncle Ned. Poor Uncle Ned is sitting there, and your old mum's just gone and sat on him.
Uncle Ned must be minuscule.
Do you think? Really? I don't know. I just imagine him sitting there like with his cup of tea, and your very elderly mother just goes and sits on him.
Just like, oh.
So,
this is nice.
do you remember? Always remember it starts with my very elderly mother just sat on Uncle Ned. So it's 8 words. My very elderly mother, there's the subject, and then what she's doing, just sat on Uncle Ned. So see if we can help it link up with these. Now, some of you might already know the names of the planets. If you don't, let's see if we can help. So some of them you're just going to have to remember. They'll come to you as you say them. The more you say them, you'll just remember them. So Mercury is the first one. Oh, sorry.
Mercury.
Cats, don't be naughty, please.
Yes.
Oh, dropping things. Okay, so Mercury is actually the Roman god of travel. They're all Roman gods, pretty much.
Pretty much, except for one.
Mercury is my. If you took out the whole centre, it actually spells my, M and Y. First and last letter, my.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can just say Mercury. Mercury, my, Mercury, Mercury. Venus is V-E, very, Venus, very, okay? And Venus is very hot. In fact, Venus is the hottest planet, yeah? So, and obviously your favourite, the hottest planet is Venus.
Venus is not my favourite planet.
Oh, sorry, Jupiter is.
Jupiter's my favourite planet.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, no.
Okay, so Venus is the hottest planet, and as I was saying, you've got the hot one end and you've got the cold the other end, furthest from the sun.
Yes.
So you would think it's Mercury, it's not Venus. So Venus is actually 462 degrees. So if you think our hot day, we go to the beach, our hot day is like 30 degrees. I'll go to the beach anything from 24 degrees, a little bit extra. Anything below, and I just won't do it.
I go from 18, I'm like, yeah, it's a warm day, let's go. Let's go to the beach, get freezing
So
cold.
if you imagine a really hot day is 30 degrees, Venus is 462 degrees. You don't have to remember that, but you know that it's super hot.
Yeah,
It's
even
the
in
hottest
Africa,
one.
it doesn't get higher than like 40 something, does it?
Well, not often unless it's a very hot time.
Yeah, but that's like 400.
Yeah, it will go over that, but that's not like the regular. So then Venus is, it's the goddess of love. So you have Earth after, because we are third rock from the sun. Don't forget, we're the third rock from the sun. So you went knocking on Earth's door. Earth is number 3. It's easy to remember. So if you turn the E back to front, it's a 3. Earth, see, E becomes 3.
3.
Okay, so third rock from the sun is Earth, not named after a god at all. And that's Earth is elderly.
Earth.
So elderly Earth. And then Mars on the other side of us, which stands for mother. Mars is the god of war. So just imagine this is your mother, your elderly mother that's been sitting on Uncle Ned. Your mother is the god of war. Okay, so either side of Earth, which is number 3, because E backwards is 3, is Venus one side, the hot side towards the sun, which is the goddess of love. She's smoking hot. And then Mars is your mother. The other side, mother, is Mars, the god of war.
And she goes around doing war things. I don't know what. Just war things.
So we've got Mercury, very is Venus, elderly, Earth, mother, Mars. And then those 4, by the way, are the solid planets. For example, we can jump on this planet. Okay. It's solid. The next 4, the second 4, the other half, are called
gas.
The gas planets. They're actually made of gas. Specifically, Jupiter and Saturn are considered the big gas planets. Now, they're huge, these two. They're basically the biggest planets. Jupiter is the biggest planet, your favourite, the biggest planet. And it's Jupiter, which is after Mars. So after Mars, your mother, god of war, you have Mars, you have Jupiter, just Jupiter. Just Jupiter, who's actually just the biggest one out of all of them. First gas planet, the biggest one of all of them, Jupiter.
Just the biggest one.
Just Jupiter. My very elderly mother just is Jupiter. Okay, so...
And I really like Jupiter because of the big storm.
Well done. Jupiter has a big storm raging.
That it doesn't go
There can be seen from space. It's huge. It's been going for over 100 years. Just a storm going for over 100 years. Can you imagine that? Yes, it has. It's crazy, isn't it? Over 100 years. It just keeps going. So, after Jupiter is Saturn, which is Saturn. Saturn, easy to remember because Saturn and Saturn. Jupiter is also is the other big gas planet, one of the gas planets, okay? Jupiter actually, sorry about this.
I'm back.
Sorry, Saturn actually has the most moons. Now, we have one moon, Earth, yeah? We have one moon.
Does Saturn have more moons?
Guess how many moons Saturn has?
56.
They've actually found more as well.
104.
Oh, you've outdone me. 82. At the current count.
82?
82 moons. Can you imagine?
So if you were living on Saturn, which you can't because it's a gas planet.
Yeah.
But somehow it became thingy, you'd see
82
moons.
The difference between the moon and the planet. So the planets are all of these planets like us, and a moon is one that goes around us. So we go around the sun, but while we're going around the sun, the moon is going around us. So Saturn has 82 little moons going around it. So next we have Uranus, which is Uncle Uranus. We're not going to say. Sometimes people say Uranus. Some people say Uranus.
I say Uranus, but like.
We're not going to try to remember how to remember that because some of the older children might think, Uranus. Might seem a little bit of a funny word for some children. But we'll leave that there, shall we? Okay, so Uranus, Uncle Uranus, okay.
Uranus you can call it Uranus.
Is actually the only one, it's not Greek. Now, Earth isn't named after a god, and the only other one is Uranus. Uranus is actually Greek for father sky. Okay, Greek. So, and the Greek stuff is older than the Roman stuff. The Romans emulated the Greeks. They used their stuff. So that's very old, the name for that.
You're saying they named Earth nothing?
Well, no, Earth isn't one of the
gods.
They
live on.
Well, because
not a god.
Earth means earth that we stand on.
Death.
So Earth was what we were standing on while they looked at the planets and named them after the gods.
Okay, that makes sense.
You see? Yeah. Okay. So Uranus is Uncle. And then Neptune's the last one. So Neptune is the furthest from the sun. It's the coldest. It's a gas planet. And they also call it the ice planet because it's so cold. And it's blue. It's blue. It's so cold. You know, like it's freezing. It's got little blue lips. It's freezing. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go over this again. Okay, so my very elderly mother just sat on Uncle Ned. My very elderly mother just sat on Uncle Ned. Again, my very elderly mother just sat on Uncle Ned. Now, you go over that a few times, it will get it in your head, and let's just make sure that's associating with the planets for you. So my, Mercury, you might just have to learn that one. Very is Venus, very Venus, very Venus. You are very Venus. She is very Venus. Very hot, very Venus.
I must let the dog out.
Now the other thing about, I'll come back to actually. So Earth is the third one. E, back to front, is a 3. Earth, elderly Earth. Mother Mars, because of the angry god. Just Jupiter. Okay, Ju, Jupiter. Just Jupiter. It's not just, is it? Because Jupiter is the biggest. Just Jupiter, no.
He's thinking.
Saturn. Uncle Uranus. And Neptune, Ned. Okay, Ned is Neptune, which is again is the coldest one. The blue planet, the coldest one. So first 4 are solids, second 4 gas planets. Jupiter is one of the biggest ones. But let me just say one thing. Venus, by the way, has a day. Now what's longer, a day or a year? It's not a trick question. A year. Venus has a day, well, let's say Venus's year is shorter than its day.
What?
Yeah. Venus's year is shorter than its day. Now this is very crazy, and I'll either link in or we'll do a little excerpt here, but we will show you Venus's day is shorter than its year.
How?
Well, look at this. This is space. This is space. So we're going to show you how a day can be longer than a year, as it is in the case of Venus.
Hi.
This is the sun.
That's a big sun.
It's a little bit big, not quite as big as our sun.
Hi. Face.
Okay, so this is the sun. Okay, put it here. Just here. Okay, so we'll show you the difference between a day and a year, and then you'll start to understand. So this is a planet. Let's call it Bronte.
Hi.
That's a funny name. The sun has left us. We will get the sun in a minute. Let's just do this bit. So the sun, this is the planet. Now the planet turns around like this, and that makes one day. If she turns again, that's one day. So let's say
If I turn around 360
this is the
times,
sun.
it'll be a year.
So if she's facing the sun, it's daytime because the sun is shining on her. She's getting the sun. If she turns around, so you live on her nose, as she turns around, it's nighttime now because there's no sun getting on her on that side, and as she turns around, it's daytime again and the sun is shining on her nose again. Okay, she can see the sun. So that's one day. 1 year is how long it takes her, if you walk around on the inside, it takes her to go all the way round, the outside
The sun
of
is
the sun.
rolling still.
Okay, so if you keep walking around there, the whole orbit, this is called the orbit going round. So if she keeps going around there, she is going around the sun. Now that takes her from there to go all the way around once, back to there, will take her a year. It's a year because in that time she will turn at the same time. She's turning at the same time. There's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and she actually turns 365 times while going around once. That's a lot of turning. Every one of those little turns is 1 day, but one time all the way around the sun is 1 year. So that's how we have 365 days, 365 turns in 1 year. But Venus turns really slowly. She turns really slowly, but while she's going around here, she's not even fully turned yet. By the time she's turned all around here, she's still not finished doing even one turn. So she's done a whole year, but she's not yet finished one turn to face the sun again, which makes 1 day.
So if you lived on Venus, you'd have to count a year as a day.
Well, you'd be dead because it's obviously 400 and...
Yeah.
462 degrees. So that's how Venus has a day longer than a year. And now you understand the difference between your days and your years. So from us and sun, we're now coming back to continue our lesson. Bye.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So now we've done that. Now we've done that. We'll just go back over this quickly now that you understand. My very elderly mother just sat on Uncle Ned, which is my is Mercury. Let's hide it. Very is
Venus.
Venus. Very Venus. She's very Venus. Goddess of love. Earth is elderly. Is she elderly Earth? Mother is what? God of war. Mother is Mars. I can imagine your mum eating a Mars bar as well. You do that? See your mum really angry eating a Mars bar.
Just like, I must have one.
Okay, Mars, the 4 solids, and then we go on to
Jupiter.
Just is Jupiter. So the just is Jupiter. We know it's not just. It's the huge one, the first one of the gas planets, the biggest one of all.
I'm just Jupiter.
Just Jupiter starts
I'm just
with
the
that gas
biggest
planet.
Jupiter.
Exactly. And then Saturn is Saturn is also easy to remember. It's Saturn because Saturn has rings going around the outside. So it's got Saturn and it's got rings around the outside. So if you imagine like you could all sit on the ring like it's a little table, all sitting together around the table.
Except for you'd
How are
fall
you doing?
through the table.
But you'd fall through because it's gas. Yeah, I know. But basically those rings are actually debris. They're like lots of rocks spinning around the outside. But it looks just like a little ring. Lots of rings.
When one comes off, it's an asteroid, and then it goes down to Earth.
I don't think they can hear that. Quickly.
All right. So when one of the rocks comes off of something, I don't know, it becomes an asteroid, and when it goes down, so when it's still in space, it's an asteroid, but when it starts going down, correct me if I'm wrong, it becomes a meteor. And then when it hits the ground, it becomes a meteorite because it's got smaller and smaller. Because as it goes through the atmosphere, it burns.
She's right.
She's right.
Okay, so yeah. Anyway, look it up, people. Yeah. Okay, so yes, so the last one is Jupiter, and then Saturn, which is Saturn, and don't forget Saturn has also got 82 moons. Yeah, the most moons. After that is Uranus. Yeah, Uncle Uranus. And Ned is Neptune, which is the last one. Neptune is the coldest one. It's also Mercury is the smallest one, by the way. The first one right by the sun is the smallest one, believe it or not. And it's also it spins on its side, whereas most of the others kind of spin upwards or sides. Neptune spins on its side when it goes around, which is quite interesting. You don't need to remember these things, but let's just make sure we've got the planets in order. And then if you want to go and research a bit more,
Neptune's
or we'll do some other videos about that. We can.
Like Ned the Neptune. I spin on my side.
Exactly. Poor Ned. Probably after the very angry mother sat on Ned.
Exactly.
And he fell on the floor. And now he's just spinning on his side. He's rolling around on the floor on his side. That's quite good, actually. I'm not going to forget that now. Okay. So yes. So my very elderly mother just sat on Uncle Ned. Mercury, Venus, elderly is Earth, mother is Mars, just Jupiter, Saturn, Uncle Uranus, Ned, Neptune. One more time. My is Mercury.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Very
is Venus.
Elderly.
Earth.
Mother.
Mars.
Just
Jupiter.
Saturn. Uncle
Uranus or Uranus.
Ned.
Neptune.
Excellent. Hope that helped. You need to watch it again, but that's basically how you do it. You want to try them?
Okay. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
There we go. There's your planets. Hope you enjoyed that. And hopefully this has helped you remember the names of the Roman gods as well. Okay, that's a different video. Say goodbye then.
Bye.
Bye.